Going in. They're in the gate. And they're off. Anmer Hall, Forgiving Spirit, both out very alertly. On the inside, Do It for Andrew is flashing plenty of early speed too. King Apollo is not far behind. And down at the rail, here's One Flew South, moving right into contention, taking third as they run down the hill. They're followed by Heats on Zap between horses, now 4 lengths off the pace. Adair is next, racing 2 lengths in front of Dancing Rinka on the outside, about 10 lengths off the speed. Then comes Thorn House. The 2 at the back of the field are Southern Horse and Subsidized. They've passed the half-mile pole with Do It for Andrew, the target, cruising along a length and a half. Forgiving Spirit is in second. One Flew South at the rail. Anmer Hall in the pink, inching up a closer third on the outside. Then comes Dancing Rinka with the green sleeves. Will be caught about 6 wide as the field turns for home. Do It for Andrew digging in. Holds a 2-length lead coming to the furlong pole and just being coaxed along. One Flew South is running a big race, trying to get inside of Forgiving Spirit for a clear shot at the front runner. And on the outside, King Apollo. Here's One Flew South and Kent DeSormo coming for the lead in the final stages. A late run from Thorn House. One Flew South wins the opener. Photo for second, Thorn House and King Apollo. Behind them, it was between Forgiving Spirit and Do It for Andrew. Next, race 2. It's the start of the early pick 4. Race 2, the Evening Jewel Stakes, presented by the Thoroughbred After. They're in the gate. And they're off in the Evening Jewel Stakes, presented by the Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance. A very nice beginning for Ceiling Crusher, Tom's Regret. Those 2 race together as one, and they've opened up early. 3 lengths back to Absolutely Zero in third, followed by Love You Mean It, and Charlie is at the back. 5 lengths covers the field. Tom's Regret a little bit quicker than Ceiling Crusher to the half-mile pole, leads the way by just over a neck. Still 3 back to Absolutely Zero, who was guided off the rail early. Then it's Charlie in fourth. 4 lengths off the lead, 2 clear of Love You Mean It. 3/8 of a mile to travel. Ceiling Crusher on the outside up to take the lead. Tom's Regret pushed along, but suddenly 3/4 back in second. Another 3, Charlie takes third. Then Absolutely Zero and Love You Mean It. They turn for home, and Ceiling Crusher is opening up with authority. A 5-length lead, and the lights are out. Ceiling Crusher dominating the Evening Jewel Stakes. She is going to win by the length of the stretch. Ceiling Crusher and Juan Hernandez dazzling home. Wins by about 13 lengths. Tom's Regret holds second over Charlie. What a performance from Ceiling Crusher, stopping the clock in 1:15 flat. And Gulfstream Park starts with the upcoming third in 22 minutes. The gate for Yes This Time. They're in the gate. And they're off. Time to Party began well. Yang again. Tidal Forces up close in the early going. Yes This Time in the center of the course is ranging right up to take second. So it's Yang again, the leader, prompted by Yes This Time. Tidal Forces comes away in third. Cash Equity, who bobbled at the start, is now moving right into contention, but caught 4 wide in the process, and Tidal Forces bouncing around as Phaeton hugs the rail. Time to Party in the turquoise colors has settled down 5 lengths off the lead, 2 clear of Flashiest, and then Carmelita's Man is by himself at the back of the field. It's Yang again, the leader, to Yes This Time in second. Phaeton has settled down in third, and Tidal Forces fourth, 3.5 lengths off the lead. Then Flashiest inching up on the outside of Time to Party. Cash Equity is next, and another 5 to Carmelita's Man. They're heading to the 3/8 pole behind Yang again, bounding along on the front end, untroubled with a 1.5 length lead. Yes This Time second. Phaeton, Tidal Forces have been together most of the way, third and fourth. Time to Party is getting underway now. He's looking for racing room. Time to Party has some horse, needs to find some room now in those turquoise colors, steadying briefly while he awaits a seam. Flashiest on the outside. They turn for home. Time to Party gets a clear shot at Yang again, who maintains a narrow lead. They're a furlong from the finish, and Time to Party, cut loose by Joe Bravo, pounces at the 16th pole and is up to take the lead. Yes, this time we'll make him work for it, but it's Time to Party. A beautiful trip to victory. Scores by a half length. Yes, this time was second. Yang again, flashiest, and Phaeton completes the super high five. Cavendish, the first-time starter. They're in the gate. And they're off. Smooth start for Dillinger. Cavendish came away in good order, but Dillinger is clearly the quickest, gets the lead comfortably. Navy Man is in between rivals, moving into second. Cavendish on the far side third. Then it's El Perfecto and Bring Him Home. Compact group behind Dillinger, who passes the 5/8 pole in front of half length. Navy Man tries to apply some pressure second. 2.5 more. El Perfecto inside Cavendish and Bring Him Home. It's Dillinger and Juan Hernandez leading by a head. Navy Man and Kazushi Kimura up alongside second. 3 more. Now it's 4 back to El Perfecto and Cavendish called on. Cavendish reclaims third. Bring Him Home trails. Approaching the quarter pole, Navy Man putting the test to Dillinger. They'll arrive at the top of the stretch together. Dillinger at the rail and Navy Man are dominating, and they're well clear of the rest. There's an 1/8 of a mile to go. Dillinger clinging to a narrow lead. Navy Man on the outside continues to come at him. Dillinger or Navy Man, it could go either way. Navy Man puts his head in front close to home and puts away Dillinger. It's Navy Man to score a length and a half. Dillinger second, Cavendish then Bring Him Home. They're in the gate. And they're off in the Charles Whittingham Stakes, presented by FanDuel TV. And it's a quick start for Dicey Mochara. He and Opry have sprinted clear in the early going. Dicey Mochara on the outside is quicker and has the lead. Opry second, Master of Foxhounds, will be in a stalking position today, third and 4 lengths off the lead. Midnight Joe Star ambling along down at the rail. He's inside Gold Phoenix, and Awfully Naughty is 7 lengths off the pace, being set by Dicey Mochara, who gets a very lonely lead of 2 lengths. Opry second, 3 clear of Master of Foxhounds, and Midnight Joe Star down on the inside. Gold Phoenix and Awfully Naughty. They move into Santa Anita's clubhouse turn, and it is Dicey Mochara leading the way. The lead down to a half length as Opry goes to put a little bit of pressure on him while under a snug hold. A length and a half, Master of Foxhounds and Midnight Joe Star hugs the rail in fourth, about 4 lengths off the leader. Stretch running Gold Phoenix is next, and Awfully Naughty has trailed throughout. Juan Hernandez and Dicey Mochara letting it out a notch once again, opening up a length and a half. Opry second with a half mile left to go. Midnight Joe Star inching closer along the inside, and Master of Foxhounds is 3 wide, and now Master of Foxhounds and Opry both go to tackle Dicey Mochara. Opry takes the lead midway on the far turn. Dicey Mochara asked to counter. He's a neck back second. 2 more Master of Foxhounds third, followed by Midnight Joe Star. There was Midnight Joe Star. There's an 1/8 of a mile to go. It's Dicey Mochara clinging to the lead over Opry. A late run from Awfully Naughty. Here comes Awfully Naughty with all the momentum, and Awfully Naughty will win the Charles Whittingham Stakes, presented by FanDuel TV. Dicey Mochara, then a photo between Opry and Gold Phoenix. Here's Low Expectations. They're in the gate. And they're off in the run-happy Santa Anita Derby. One in Vermilion sprints out of the gate, and Low Expectations comes away in second. Two huge long shots setting the tempo early on. National Treasure comes away in third. And the favorite Practical Move, well spotted along the inside, about 4 lengths off the lead. It's another 2. Back to Mandarin Hero, racing on the outside of Dazzle Me Silver. Skinner is 3 wide outside of that pair, and I Don't Get It at the back of the field. They passed a 6-furlong pole, and it's 1 in Vermilion by a length and a half. Low Expectations second by the same margin. National Treasure puts his head into third, and Practical Move matches strides with him along the rail, and now takes that third spot heading to the half-mile pole. Mandarin Hero is just 3.5 lengths off the speed. Dazzle Me Silver inches up inside of Skinner, and I Don't Get It at the back of a compact field. Less than a half-mile to go in the run-happy Santa Anita Derby. And 1 in Vermilion has been there throughout. Practical Move has room at the rail, moving closer effortlessly. And here's Practical Move within a head of the front runner. On the outside, there goes Skinner. And Skinner's making a bold early move with 1/4 mile to go. National Treasure is just behind him. And now it's Practical Move squaring off with Skinner on the outside. Mandarin Hero running a valiant race. He's moving right into contention, splitting rivals with 1/8 mile to go. Practical Move a length. Mandarin Hero grinding away at him. And Skinner on the outside. Practical Move. Here's Mandarin Hero surging. Practical Move, Mandarin Hero. Practical Move has won the run-happy Santa Anita Derby by a nose over Mandarin Hero. Skinner was a close third. Terry Lovinger. It pays to be Calbred. And they're off in the Echo. Eddy and Good and Thirsty bounced out very quickly. Here's Bus Buzz now rushing up, and Kangaroo Court has plenty of speed too. Clovis Connection fourth in the early going, 3 lengths off the pace. A break of 3 back to Clouseau, racing on the outside of Barely Functional, and Left Hand Man will do his best running later. Bus Buzz blazing to the half-mile pole. 2.5 length lead. Kangaroo Court gets a good stalking spot and moves in nicely from second. Another 2 back to Clovis Connection in third. Then Good and Thirsty fourth, 4.5 off the pace. Clouseau is down at the rail. Left Hand Man and Barely Functional. Kangaroo Court engages Bus Buzz. These two rivals meet again, and they come to the quarter bowl together. Bus Buzz hanging tough along the inside. Kangaroo Court yet to go by. 5 back to Clouseau in third, 3/16 to run. Kangaroo Court and Bus Buzz shoulder to shoulder. Clouseau trying to gather them in, has 5 to make up in the last 10 seconds. Bus Buzz resilient on the inside of Kangaroo Court. Kangaroo Court, Bus Buzz in an absolute thriller. It goes to Kangaroo Court. Bus Buzz ran his eyeballs out to just miss. Then it was Clouseau and Left Hand Man. They're in the gate. Silver Surfer. And they're off. Silver Surfer comes out smoothly. So does Irish Prophet. Balladeer along the inside, third in the opening stages. Then General Mathis, Jeweled Shalala in the pink, and Colinga Road is at the back of the field, already 7 off the front runner. And that front runner is Balladeer into the first turn with Silver Surfer just about 3/4 of a length back with 7 furlongs to run. Jeweled Shalala is an absolute handful. just settles down in a nick of time and is a joint third, racing on the inside of Irish Prophet, who's now about 3 lengths off the lead. Outside of them comes General Mathis, who's kept in the clear and 4 in front of Coalinga Road. They swing on to the backstretch behind Balladeers. Silver Surfer is a length and a half behind in second. They've settled down on the front end. Irish Prophet third. Jeweled Shalala racing on the inside of General Mathis. And then 2 more lengths. Coalinga Road getting a little bit closer, has just 5 to make up with a half mile to go. Balladeer has been there throughout. Silver Surfer within a neck, putting a little bit of pressure on second. Irish Prophet with the yellow sleeves, now called on in third. Coalinga Road has advanced to within 2.5 of the pacemaker. General Mathis has been kept out wide throughout. He's very much in the thick of it, however, despite the 4 wide move to the quarter pole. Jeweled Shalala is the first to drop out. A quarter of a mile to run. Silver Surfer, General Mathis on the outside, Irish Prophet in between them. Coalinga Road starts to pick it up in the center of the track. They're a furlong from the finish. And here's Coalinga Road lengthening stride, trying to get after General Mathis, who shifts in while leading by 2. General Mathis, 2-length lead at the 16th pole, running strongly. Coalinga Road trying to close the gap, but it will be General Mathis. Surface makes no difference. This horse is razor sharp. Coalinga Road second. Then it was Silver Surfer and Irish Prophet. They're in the gate. And they're off. Lovesick Blues, Clem Labine came away in good order. Teton Valley, slight bobble at the start, but no problem. He's on the front end. And so it's Teton Valley joined by Joe Don Looney. They'll battle it up top. Joker Boy third, Lovesick Blues settles perfectly in fourth. Then comes My Harbor's Dream. Manitowish in the red is racing 3 lengths clear of Clem Labine. A gap of 5 to Next Revolt and Self-Taught. Close to 20 lengths front to back. As they move into the far turn, Next Revolt has been eased. They're coming to the 3/8 pole, and it's Joe Don Looney in front, 3/4 of a length. Teton Valley trying to come back for more in second. A gap of 3.5, Lovesick Blues and Joker Boy racing together, third and fourth. Another 3 back to My Harbor's Dream and Manitowish, followed by Clem Labine. They pass the quarter pole, and Joe Don Looney is the one to catch. Here's Lovesick Blues coming on the outside, and Joker Boy moves through at the fence. A furlong out. 2 Nick Alexander breds are 1-2, but the one he owns is Lovesick Blues on the outside of Joe Don Looney, and Lovesick Blues will get the money. Joe Don Looney was second. Manitowish finished third. Then it was Clem Labine and Joker Boy. They're in the gate. And they're off in the Monrovia. And Legs Galore is quick as always, joined by Elm Drive at the rail in second. Canoodling broke well. She races in third. Freedom Flyer is on the extreme outside. Big Summer between rivals. Awake at Midnight second to last. And stretch running Kirschenbosch is at the back of the field. They're heading to the half-mile pole behind Legs Galore, who's trying to make things tight on Elm Drive, who will have none of that and comes to engage second. 3/4 to Canoodling in third. Then Awake at Midnight advancing inside Big Summer, 2 clear of Freedom Flyer, and Kirstenbosch is at the back. It's Legs Galore just in front. Elm Drive pressing. Awake at Midnight has made steady headway up to take third, going to the 3-path. Big Summer running a good race, 4 of them across the track, and Big Summer with a big sweeping move on the outside, tackles Elm Drive. Awake at Midnight is in between them. Legs Galore drops out. There's an 1/8 of a mile to go, and Elm Drive is going on very strongly. Big Summer on the outside, then Awake at Midnight in third. Kirsten Bosch picking up some late ground. Elm Drive, a length and a half, and a big day for Ramon Vasquez. Elm Drive wins the Monrovia. Big Summer second. Kirsten Bosch flew late for third, and then Awake at Midnight. Cleekish comes up. Don't Get Pickled to the outside. They're in the gate. And they're off in the Santa Anita Oaks. Feza had a smooth beginning. Gila wants to lead, clearly unhinged. Second, Feza will sit in third. Then it's Venganza, followed by And Tell Me No Lies. Cleekish is toward the back of the field. Another 2.5 back to Window Shopping. And the early trailer is Don't Get Pickled. Gila opens up. It's a 6-length lead coming to the 6-furlong pole. Clearly unhinged, wisely backs off. And then it's Venganza racing together with the undefeated Feza. 2 more lengths back to Cleekish and Tell Me No Lies. Behind them, Window Shopping is in hand, and 7 in front of Don't Get Pickled. Strung out field behind the long shot Gila, who heads to the half-mile pole with a 6-length advantage. Clearly unhinged, galloping along smoothly. Venganza and Feza still side by side. Cleekish in between those two. Window Shopping is advancing along the rail as they start to swarm in on Gila. And Tell Me No Lies is outside of that group. And steadying sharply in traffic there was Window Shopping as Cleekish also backs up and Don't Get Pickled. It's a new race. Feza and Clearly Unhinged. And Feza takes the lead with a 1/4 mile to go. And Tell Me No Lies is next, followed by Venganza. Window Shopping putting in a valiant effort with a furlong left to go. And it's Feza with a 3-length lead. Clearly Unhinged and Tell Me No Lies, Window Shopping, all left in the wake of the fabulous Feza, who's 5 for 5 and wins the Santa Anita Oaks with plenty in the tank. And Tell Me No Lies was second. Window Shopping and eye-catching third. And then it was a photo between Clearly Unhinged and Venganza. They were joined by Don't Get Pickled. They're in the gate. Rose Barton is acting up. And they're off. Ancient Peace broke alertly. Active Serendipity, Rose Barton, Precious Baby, and Chloe's Crown, who broke outward, is now guided over to the rail, but is still the distant trailer as they round the first turn. And it's the favorite Ancient Peace dictating the terms. A very easy lead, cruising to the 6-furlong pole with a 3-length edge. Rose Barton is in second. They're in single file. Then it's Active Serendipity, followed by Precious Baby and Chloe's Crown. Onto the backstretch. Ancient Peace and Flavian Pratt sprinting along now. Loose by 4. Rose Barton at to keep up in second. Another 4 lengths back to Precious Baby third, followed by Active Serendipity and still 3 to Chloe's Crown. They're covered now by close to 15 lengths as Ancient Peace is turning it on. Ancient Peace is suddenly 10 lengths in front with 3/8 of a mile to go. Precious Baby moves into second, followed by Active Serendipity, and then comes Chloe's Crown with a 1/4 mile to go. It's Ancient Peace still with a double-digit advantage. Active Serendipity on the inside of Precious Baby, and they're followed by Chloe's Crown. It's a 1-horse race as Ancient Peace gallops through the lane. Chloe's Crown angles out trying to complete the exacta, but that's all she'll do. Ancient Peace is in another league. She is absolutely ambling through the stretch, the easiest of Flavian Pratt's 3 victories. Geared down Ancient Peace by 7 lengths. Chloe's Crown rallied into second, but was no match. Active Serendipity and Precious Baby.
Let's face it, you tune into the seminar to get important answers, I should say, to important questions. And I've got a very good Easter answer, I should say, for you to kick off the seminar. We are on the turf today here at the Great Race Place. That's right. All races remain on the turf here on Easter Sunday. And on behalf of everybody here at Anita, happy Easter to all of you celebrating that special holiday. We don't need an Easter bunny to find some winners today. That's because we have a guest who's here every single morning before the crack of dawn, clocking horses in the morning so he can give us winners in the afternoon. His name, Toby Turrell. Toby, happy Easter. Welcome to the seminar.
Hey, ditto. It's great to be here, and nowhere else I'd rather be. Honestly.
I agree, and we saw in the opening there, nowhere else that families would rather be than here at the Great Race Place, because that's because there's a massive Easter egg hunt in the infield. You'll see that throughout the day, and of course, glorious weather conditions to greet them. But we need some handicapping advice and help for the adults. You're the perfect person to do that. But before we look forward, Toby, let's take a look backwards to yesterday's Run Happy Anita Derby. It was a very impressive race, won by Practical Move, trained by Timmy Octine, bred by Chad Brown of all people. But of course, it was not just a one-horse race. Before we get your reflections on the race, let's listen to track announcer Frank Miramati describe the action in the Grade 1 Run Happy Anita Derby yesterday.
And they're off in the Run Happy Santa Anita Derby. One in Vermilion sprints out of the gate, and Low Expectations comes away in second. Two huge long shots setting the tempo early on. National Treasure comes away in third. And the favorite Practical Move, well spotted along the inside, about 4 lengths off the lead. It's another 2. Back to Mandarin Hero, racing on the outside of Dazzle Me Silver. Skinner is 3 wide outside of that pair, and I Don't Get It at the back of the field. They passed a 6-furlong pole, and it's 1 in Vermilion by a length and a half. Low Expectations second by the same margin. National Treasure puts his head into third, and Practical Move matches strides with him along the rail, and now takes that third spot heading to the half-mile pole. Mandarin Hero is just 3.5 lengths off the speed. Dazzle Me Silver inches up inside of Skinner, and I Don't Get It at the back of a compact field. Less than a half mile to go in the Run Happy Santa Anita Derby. And 1 in Vermilion has been there throughout. Practical Move has room at the rail, moving closer effortlessly. And here's Practical Move within a head of the front runner. On the outside, there goes Skinner. And Skinner's making a bold early move with 1/4 mile to go. National Treasure is just behind him. And now it's Practical Move squaring off with Skinner on the outside. Mandarin Hero running a valiant race. He's moving right into contention, splitting rivals with 1/8 mile to go. Practical Move a length. Mandarin Hero grinding away at him. And Skinner on the outside. Practical Move. Here's Mandarin Hero surging. Practical Move, Mandarin Hero. Practical Move.
Toby, desperate 3-horse photo with Practical Move getting the nose bob in front. Mandarin Hero certainly lost nothing in defeat. The Japanese invader, and Skinner made that the menacing 3-wide move, turning for home. Your thoughts after watching that replay, Toby?
Just thrilling all the way around. It reminds you of the good old days when Silver Charm and Free House and all that stuff happened. And I'll tell you what, I watched the race several times last night, and every time I watch it, I'm more impressed with the win because I don't think anything went right for Practical Move yesterday, and I believe he still won.
And Ramon Vasquez certainly put up a great ride. But as I mentioned, sentimentally, a lot of people were rooting for Mandarin Hero. The Japanese horses have been firing on all cylinders, no matter what continent they run on.
Oh, no question. I'll tell you what an impressive training job. And great work by XBTV. Again, catching that horse out of the gate. I was amazed that they would go to that intensity right on the race. And if you watch this horse warm up, leaving the post parade, you don't see a horse warm up any more scintillating than that horse warmed up.
Looks like a potential classic East versus West matchup in the Kentucky Derby the first Saturday in May. Forte from the Todd Pletcher barn representing the East Coast, and of course Practical Move from the West Coast represented by Tim Octine. We're going to take a quick break, get those changes. Keep in mind we are on the turf today from track announcer Frank Miramati. When we resume, we'll find out who Toby likes on a very deep and excellent 11-race Easter Sunday card here at the Great Race Place.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Easter and welcome to Santa Anita Park. The Spring Carnival in full gear as is our Easter egg hunt with more than 30,000 eggs in the infield. The track is fast. The turf course is firm. The rail on the turf is at 10 feet. Here are the early changes. In the first, number 6, Raji, 2 pounds over. Of course, the first starts the early pick 5. Blinker note in race 2, beginning of the early pick 4. Kent DeSormo will not ride today. And the third, number 5, Natural Power, make the jockey Juan Hernandez. Race 3, number 5, Juan Hernandez. And the third race is leg A of the Coast to Coast, pick 5. Another good payoff yesterday in the Coast to Coast, pick 5. In our fourth race today, there are no changes. The fifth race begins a middle pick 4 on races 5, 6, 7, and 8. There will be a jockey to be announced for number 1, Respect the Code. Race 6 begins the Rainbow Pick 6. We had the mandatory payout yesterday, fresh pool today. 7th, number 1, Mas Rapido, make the jockey Umberto Rispoli. It's the John Shear. 8th begins the late pick 4. There are no changes. In the 9th, jockey to be announced for number 1, Gypsy Lynn. Scratch number 3, Exactly Wendy. Race 9, take out the 3. In the 10th, we start the Golden Hour pick 4. Just the blinker note. And the Golden Hour double begins with race number 11. And in the 11th race today, which closes out the card and the week, there are no changes. Enjoy your day. Happy Easter. And welcome to Santa Anita Park. They'll be at the gate for the first in 58 minutes at 12 noon. Let's go back to the seminar. Lots to cover. Tom Quigley is with Toby Turrell.
Welcome back. We're talking horses with Toby Turrell. He's one of the most esteemed morning clockers anywhere in the country. You can find his work on a daily basis, either by buying the winner's card here on track or at the satellite locations, or go to the website casetherace.com and you can find his work, as I said, every day there. It'll be a wise investment if you decide to purchase his daily sheet. All right, Toby, a lot of ground to cover, 11 races on this Easter Sunday. So let's kick it off in race number 1. Happy to report all races are on the turf course today, including race 1. We're traveling a mile and an eighth on the turf course for maiden special weights. The rails today are at 10 feet. We've got a field of 6, and of course, race 1 begins the 50-cent early pick 5. Morning line favorite in the current betting choice at even money is on the rail, number 1, Escape Artist. How'd you see this first race?
Yeah, well, it's hard to believe that today is officially closing day of the Classic meet, and April 21st starts the Hollywood meet here.
Kind of like the old days.
Yes, indeed. And opening day, Escape Artist number 1 ran lights out. In fact, he ran way too good to lose opening day, and here he is on closing day. I hope to control this race as the deserving favorite. Showed big speed, and I like him even before he started, so I like that too. But Nuclear will get a lot of attention, a $1.5 million horse. Very leggy, plotty colt. The more distance, the better. And he will get that distance today with Mr. Hernandez up. So 1 and 5 to kick us off.
Let's take a look at race number 2. Begins the 50-cent early pick 4. You'll notice a constant theme throughout today's 11-race card. Full fields, which creates great wagering value. And, of course, we're one of the only few games in town, so hopefully the horse players will support our product just like they did yesterday. Thank you so much for contributing almost $3 million in new money to the 20-cent pick 6 pool, as well as all the other pools. Close to $20 million was wagered on yesterday's 12-race card, so thanks to each and every one of you for your support. But race 2, as I mentioned, starts the 50-cent early pick 4. We're sprinting 5.5 furlongs on the main track. Fillies and Mares, non-winners of 3 races lifetime. $20,000 is the claiming tag. Number 6, Lunatic, returning off a long layoff for Peter Miller, is the 2-1 morning line favorite, ridden by that guy you just mentioned, Juan Hernandez. What are your thoughts on race 2?
The number 7 horse in here, Teen Drama, is trained by Rolando Quinones. And take note of this guy's name because he is one heck of a horseman in his young career. He used to be a full-time rider for Richard Baltus and many top trainers down at San Luis Rey. He knows what he's doing, and I think he means business here with the 7. Teen Drama goes to the outside. Angel Sense, the winner of that race, just won a few days ago. So that race is looking live. I think this filly's live and can win over the favorite you talked about there, number 6, Lunatic.
And Rolando Quinones, I'll add to what you said, Toby. I consider him to be a very cagey barn. Whenever he has a horse running, I take 2nd and 3rd and 4th looks at the runner before I decide to either include or exclude that particular runner from my tickets. Race number 3, we're back sprinting on the turf course. 5.5 furlongs is the distance. This is a starter allowance race for those runners who have started for a claiming price of $25,000 or less since January 1st, 2021. We've got a field of 6. Make the jockey on number 5, Natural Power, Juan Hernandez. Jockey Kent DeSorma will not ride today. Once again, the morning line favorite down on the rail, number 1, See Through It, 5-2 according to John White. What's it like this? What's this race like according to you, Toby?
Yeah, well, make the jockey on the 1 horse, Edwin Maldonado, while you're at it. And he won the last 2 races that Edwin rode this horse. Last time out, he went 9 wide and almost won despite. Full of energy late. What a genuine racehorse he is. He's got the rail again, but no way I can pick against him. And the 6 horse, Barristan the Bold, a racehorse in his own right, the battle of the veterans. He's going to try to make amends and reverse the score here. I'll go 1-6 in race number 3.
And speaking of KG Barnes, Toby, what about the trainer for number 6, Barristan the Bold? Lee Baracchio has had a fantastic meet. He's also not messing around. You gave us the background information for Rolando Quinones. What's the background information on Lee Baracchio?
Go all the way back to the old days at Hollywood Park with this trainer. He comes out of Hollywood a little bit. He actually is proud to have produced a movie or 2. He used to know a guy that we knew named Scott Strader, and I'll tell you what, he learned from the ground up to lead. Nothing he does is an accident. He was always the guy doing the work, and he had a lot of praises decades ago, so no accidents there either.
Toby, the 1st and 3rd race so far, and we are on the turf today, are turf races. How do you evaluate workers in the morning that are working either on the main track or the training track and try and translate that performance to the turf course?
Well, in a simple answer, I'm looking at mechanics of the horse. They don't change. Turf mechanics are turf mechanics, and dirt mechanics are dirt mechanics. So we'll leave it that easy for right now, but that's a general rule there.
And have you been down to San Luis Rey Downs at all? I know you don't get down there on a regular basis, but have you ever visited the facility, and what's it like for those of us who have not been?
I've been begging to get some kind of a clocker stand built there, and I'm still holding out hope because I know the people here are listening, and we love our workouts here, and people love betting workout information, and I got my colleagues have been down there. Andy Harrington goes down there. I stay right here, and I'm waiting on that clocker stand.
Speaking of workouts, Toby, one thing we've been able to capitalize on the last few years, courtesy of our friends at xbtv.com, is the workout video that's put together by our fantastic team here at Anita. It's a tremendous asset, not only for those of us who don't wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, but also for you to go back and watch and rewatch your work to make sure you saw it correctly.
Great example of that was Mandarin yesterday. When I saw that horse out of the gate, again, mechanics. He's got phenomenal mechanics behind. And when I saw that, I was confident he was going to run a big race. And, great to see it on video.
It's like being a chef. You got to put a lot of ingredients into the meal in order to wind up with a winning meal. Make sure you include xbtv.com as part of your handicapping arsenal. It's absolutely free of charge, easy to use, and you can watch a lot of the morning workouts and form your own opinion on horses you might like. Race number 4, we're traveling 1 mile on the main track. Allowance optional claiming types, non-winners of 1 other than, a field of 7. Juan Hernandez rides the favorite here. Once again for Peter Miller, number 6, Phineas, the son of Stay Thirsty. I saw Mr. Lovinger and Miss Navarro in the winner's circle at Los Al last night. Am I going to see them in the winner's circle this afternoon?
Well, I hope not in this race, but the 7 horse.
Nothing personal.
No, we got to, I learned last night, a buddy of mine has a horse in the first race, and he read the workout comments, and he's accusing me of not being biased, I guess. You got to be careful. You got to be careful. You can never be too.
Sentiment is for suckers when it comes to handicapping, right? We just want winners, and it's nothing personal.
That's exactly right. Number 7, It's My House. This horse had a workout 2 works back, 59 flat. It was very strong, done the right way. And what I love is he came out of the work in full rhythm in the little half mile. So we'll see how far he can go. He's got that hustling jockey aboard that's becoming a go-to speed rider now out here. Mark Blatt certainly thinks so, and that's good enough for me. So It's My House, the 7 horse, and the 1 Showtime. I'm hoping doesn't compromise the speed angle here, but 7 and 1.
You mentioned the bug boy Armando Aguilar is certainly a very productive combination with trainer Mark Blatt. They're winning at a 26% win clip. So Mark's shown a lot of confidence in the bug boy. You watch so much video and tape. What do you see in terms of improvement for Mr. Aguilar?
He actually he's developed his posture quite a bit. He's sitting very chilly on the horses now. He's getting them to relax, and he's getting very good at placing them. So he's really coming along.
No substitute for experience, that's for sure. That's true in all facets of life. On an 11-race card, we do have a 50-cent middle pick 4, which starts in race number 5. And take a look. This is one of a few races today coming down the Hillside Turf Course. 6.5 furlongs of the distance. Allowance optional claiming types. Non-winners of 2 other than. We've got a field of 7. Number 4, For All Mankind, is a first-time gelding. Also jockey to be announced on number 1, Respect the Code, the Maury Lane favorite. What makes Sammy run, who has shown a propensity to really adore this Hillside Turf Course, is 5-2. Once again for that guy, Mark Blatt, this time ridden by Joe Bravo. Give us your thoughts on race 5, Toby.
Yeah, not only has he run well on the downhill, but look who he's running against on top of it. Now he's going to run out of the graded stakes ranks for the first time. And today, no excuses. He might have even needed the last race off of 2 months off. So now we're taking that big drop here. And I think that with Joe Bravo aboard, he'll pick that winning spot here on this reliable win machine, and I'm not going to pick against him. I do like number 1, Respect the Code. Very honest, genuine runner. He'll give you his all here today, and he will come charging late. So he'll be a good price. 6 and 1 for me in race 5.
Toby, we have an importer in this race for number 4, For All Mankind, coming in from France. We haven't seen him since August of last year. He's been in steady training on the training track. Have you seen him in the mornings at all, and what have been your impressions of him?
Yeah, you can't miss him. He's got a big raccoon tail, and that always helps spot him. But he's a work in progress for me. And then when I saw the layoff, it all made sense. My notes kind of matched the form here with the layoff. I believe he needs a race for his top efforts, and that's my hope today.
Toby, going back to yesterday for a moment before we take a look at race number 6, we saw Feza remain undefeated for trainer Bob Baffert in the Anita Oaks. What did you think of her performance?
It was just jaw-dropping.
Probably her best effort today.
Oh, no question about that. The move she made on the turn, well, I guess it kind of was like when she won first time out, going all the way back to that race. But that move that was really that was scintillating.
And the gallop out was impressive as well. Race number 6 begins the 20-cent Rainbow Pick 6. As your track announcer Frank Miramati say, we start fresh today because we had mandatory payout yesterday, and we kick things off in race number 6, putting 6 furlongs on the main track for $20,000 claimers, non-winners of 3 races lifetime. Number 6, Mitico from the Paula Capestro barn is the 2-1 morning line favorite. Rare opportunity for Mr. Valdivia and Miss Capestro to get in the winner's circle here. Are they going to do it in race 6?
Well, I think they are. And you look at the win last time out, and Can't Beat the Rock has now come back and won. So that race is now standing up. This is a big, massive, big horse. And you get a horse like this that's got speed. I mean, you're going to get a winning effort. We'll see if he can do it again. And I believe he can. He's on the outside. The 5 horse, very interesting, coming back off the voided claim. The workouts are okay. The past class is there, but the recent form is not. So that's a pure guessing game, but I'm going 6-5 in race 6.
Speaking of guessing games, Toby, I want to ask you a question just from a general handicapping philosophy for 3 runners in this race, all of whom have been training exclusively at Los Alamitos. So it'd be number 1, Mongolian Ford, number 4, Cross Examine, and the runner on the bottom, number 7, Gator Shining. I'm not necessarily asking if you like the runners. What I'm asking you is, how do you evaluate horses that have been working over at Los Alamitos? We hear a lot of discussion that that's a more glib track. This is a bit more deeper track. Do you automatically draw a line through them? Do you kind of give them a second look? How do you approach horses that are working exclusively at Los Al?
You know, right now, I got to just be honest. I mean, the trainers that are over there are winning at too high of a percentage.
Lorenzo Ruiz, Milton Pineda.
Yeah, and the list goes on from there. And you have to just, I'll tell you what, I just kind of ignore the workouts, honestly, and just look to the trainer and the form.
Can you get a camera stand for workouts over at Los Alamitos as well?
I've been there and done that. I move forward. I want to go to San Luis Rey.
Race number 7 begins the 50-cent late pick 5. Here's another race coming down the hillside, and it's named in honor of John Shear, our paddock captain, who is at least 100 years old. I believe maybe 101. I should have researched it, but I ran out of time. But it's great to have a race named in his honor, and this race is exclusively for 3-year-olds. A field of 8. Take note that number 3, Valiance, has been supplemented to this race. Make the jockey on number 1, Mass Rapido, Umberto Rispoli, the morning line favorite. Number 4, Conclude from the Phil D'Amato barn. Let's face it, Mr. D'Amato has a factory of turf runners. We saw that on display yesterday. That theme continues today.
It does, and it continues in this race. I just love this horse ever since I laid eyes on him, and he's very flashy. You won't miss him. He's got the big cow face, and his dad collected kind of looked the same way. So far the talent is the same, and he was full of run and winning last time out. Training impeccably still, he always has, but I can't go against this horse. The 1, Mas Rapido, will fool you. This is a horse that does not work well, never does, and seems to always run on the turf. I see Rispoli's got the mount. He'll be a giant price, and this guy usually comes running. So 4-1 in race 7.
Toby, you and I have both talked about the benefits of having daily racing form formulator as part of your handicapping arsenal. And to show you what a nerd I am, I know that going into Conclude's debut race, you had a super workout for him. That must have been a tough beat for you at 8-1 because he ran his eyeballs out. Those are the type of runners you kind of wake up early in the morning for, to find runners exclusively that fit that category and hope to capitalize on it. Unfortunately, you got nipped right on the wire.
It happens.
Yes, it does. It happens to all of us, by the way,
right.
No matter what time we wake up in the morning. Race number 8 begins the 50-cent late pick 4. This race is for Calbred maiden special weights, traveling 5.5 furlongs on the main track. Take a look at this field size. A field of 11, 2 first-time geldings. Number 1 and 3 are first-time geldings. Number 5, Cowboy Mike from the Bob Baffert barn, is the 2-1 morning line favorite. Before we get your thoughts on the race, Toby, we've been talking about XBTV.com. Let's watch a workout on April Fool's Day for number 5, Cowboy Mike. You wanted to show this. Why'd you want to see it?
Well, first off, the horse that he's working with is a horse called Applefest. And Applefest has come back and trained. He has a 58-3 workout since that work on April 1st. But the workouts speak for themselves. Here we go. For a mismatch right out of the gate. There's the speed. And there's the rider waiting on the other horse. Now, keep in mind that outside horse has worked 58-3 since this workout. So he's not toying with a slouch there down the backside. And look at the composure of this horse. Right now, he's running to his breeding. He's just a stone cold runner. You can see it already. I have learned through the decades that when horses do things like this, they very rarely ever lie. And this is a situation where this horse just has the speed, and he's a stone cold runner. He's running away from this horse amazingly on the turn, and it's all here. Look at the final time as he comes around the turn, 59-3. And, I am really expecting this horse to get out, shake loose on the lead, and not slow down. He's not going to slow down in this workout. And like I said, there's more in the tank here. The key is, you mentioned Los Alamitos, and we're just going to finish up here, but this horse in his first work from Los Alamitos 2 works back had a 33 and change interior. You put that kind of finish that we just watched right there at the end of that workout with 33 and change, and you have a horse that's related to Fun to Dream, and heck yeah.
All systems go.
It looks that way to me, and this horse is very sentimental on top of it all. Cowboy Mike is the brainchild and the human backbone behind this whole operation. He passed away unexpectedly a couple of years ago. They wanted to get a male horse so they could name it after him, and here he is, Cowboy Mike.
Toby, obviously Bob Baffert has a lot of success with first-time starters, and I think one of the reasons is what we just witnessed. He works his horses very fast. He presses them hard to basically simulate race conditions. A lot of other trainers kind of take it slow and easy, but that's one of the reasons why Bob has so much success. Does Bob kind of tip his hand whether the horses work in company or solo? Have you seen any sort of patterns with Bob in regards to that?
I think he improvises with each horse, so he's doing what each horse is ready for at that phase of the game. So you can't read a lot into it. In general, when you see one of his horses work subpar or slow, I think you kind of know they can't run.
Race number 9 is for fillies and mares traveling 1 mile on the turf course. $32,000 of the claiming tag. Non-winners of 2 races. Lifetime is the condition. Field of 10. Take note that number 1, Gypsy Lynn, jockey to be announced. Number 3, Exactly Wendy, has been declared out of the race. That leaves us with a field of 9. Morning line favorite on the bottom. Number 10, Dolly May from the suddenly cold Vladimir Serin barn. 5-2. Tough post, cold barn. Looking elsewhere?
Yeah, we'll look elsewhere now that you talked me into it a little bit.
That didn't take much.
Nah, that was easy. The 2-horse Sensible Move is a very genuine, hard-knocking Calbred mare. She has not had her trip yet. She has a couple of sharp workouts. Tiago Pereira, who's a story in himself, has been aboard this horse in the morning, getting her finally tuned up, I hope, for a win today. And she galloped out very nicely in her last race. I've got sitting on a big race as a result of that. Hopefully that's enough. Number 2, over the number 10 horse, Dolly May, who seems to show up every time.
Toby, might be a ridiculous question, but that's okay because nobody's listening or watching. How much emphasis do you place on workouts in terms of your overall analysis and your selections? In other words, is it 80%? Is it 40%? How much do race replays come into the mix? I mean, just kind of give us a glimpse into how you weigh each of your different disciplines in order to come up with winners.
Well, it's all actually, your brain really works like a computer when it comes right down to it. And really, it's all right here. I mean, you mentioned it. The formulator is all me. And everything with the formulator, I kind of sprinkle the workouts with this. And then when I get things lining up, I know I'm in business.
And it's great for recall, right? I mean, there's no way we have obviously sharp brains, but at the same time, the level of detail we put into formulator, there's literally no way you would remember all that detail by yourself.
Do you remember the old school guys in the press box with the old charts? That was for 3 weeks and it was this big.
And a lot of silverfish in there as well.
I mean, what's right here would be literally stacked high at this whole desk. No question.
Great addition to handicapping is DRF Formulator. If you're not used to it or not familiar with it, you can get a free look at it if you visit the DRF.com website, and I would encourage you to do so if you're not familiar with that computer program. Race number 10 begins the $1 Golden Hour Pick 4. Speaking of wagering support, thanks to all of you for supporting that wager. This particular wager links our last 2 races here with the last 2 races at Golden Gate, and we kick things off in race number 10, sprinting 6.5 furlongs on the main track. Starter optional claiming race for 3-year-olds. Another full field of 10, fresh off the victory for our friends at Legacy Ranch. Number 10, Soul of Midnight, is the 5-2 morning line favorite. He ran in a field of, I believe, 14 last time out and dusted them. Do you think that he's going to win again today in impressive fashion?
those were 13 slow horses he beat.
Don't tell Pete Turrell that.
I can tell Pete anything. Pete's a dear friend of mine, and he will just listen. He's smarter than I am.
All right, you don't like the favorite. Who do you like?
I like the 2 horse in here, Chicks Dig It. I believe this is just a stone cold runner. He proves it to me just time and time again. Don't look at him closely in the paddock. He gets real hot and wet. That's just him. And he goes out there. He's got the speed, and he gives you everything he's got. So I love that combination in a horse. So 2 on top of the 8 horse. Very rare that you see a maiden show up here against winners, but Pete Miller, I think he knows what he's doing, and he gets Flavian Pratt. He talked him into it. So that is good there, a good indication that number 8, Big Hat Willie, will run a big race. He comes out of some live races.
Toby, you and I both believe that nothing in life happens by accident. How's this for coincidence? Number 2, Chicks Dig It on debut. Who was my seminar guest that particular day? None other than our good friend Felix Taverna, who is the host of Race and Sports Radio. And believe it or not, prior to Chicks Dig It's debut performance, I showed that workout that was very impressive. And look at the win price he paid that particular day, 28-1. If you don't think you can find winners just looking at workout video on xbtv.com, I would basically challenge you or challenge that statement that you would make, because here's living proof that on that particular day with obscure connections, just watching the video of the workout, you probably remember that workout as well. You can find golden nuggets like this.
It's the I would say the magical part of, I was talking to somebody this morning before I came in here, and I said, I'll be 10 minutes up in the grandstand. I'll be looking for something that never gets old, and that's the beauty of doing this every day.
You learn something new every day as a handicapper, and that's obviously one of the reasons why we enjoy so much and love so much what we do. We close out the day and we close out the week in race number 11, traveling 1 1/8 on the turf course. This is a starter optional claiming race. It's also the beginning of the $5 Golden Hour Daily Double. Similar concept. Last race here with the last race at Golden Gate. Another full field of 11. 3 of the runners trained by Peter Urton, but the morning line favorite, number 9, Derecho Dandy from the John Sadler Barn, a lukewarm 4-1 morning line favorite at that. Great race to close out the week.
Yeah, and sometimes it's just as easy as calling a trainer a little cold, and you can put them right in the winner's circle. And I'm hoping that's what you're doing here with Vladimir Serin on the 4-horse Aja Weed. I don't know what happened to him last time out, but he never got in the race. He's trained like he's full of himself since that effort. So I think today you're going to see him out on the pace and hopefully hard to run down. A 4-1 morning line favorite, that's very rare, but an indication of how tough and competitive this race is. And the 9 horse comes off a big effort. And if cycles hold and John Sadler's horse runs in the last race today like he ran in the last race yesterday, this race will be over.
Toby, one more question for you in race number 11. Number 2, How About Them Apples, was on the AE list yesterday. Didn't make it in. Now draws in for trainer Phil D'Amato. They get Flavian to ride. Long layoff, last seen down in South Florida. Have you seen How About Them Apples train in the morning, and what were your observations?
Yeah, he's a game running horse. I'm not sure that he wants 1 1/8 miles, and that's what it came down to for me as far as today goes. But he tries hard. And you mentioned Flavian Pratt getting aboard, so you have positives there. But for me, I got to see him get the 1 1/8 miles distance.
4 and 9 to close out the day, close out the week, and close out the meet. The reason why we're saying closes out the meet is, keep in mind, this upcoming weekend, there is no live racing. That was a scheduled break that we had planned prior to the start of the meet. So live racing here at the Great Race Place will resume on Friday, April 21st. That's right, a week from this coming Friday. And of course, we'll run all the way until Father's Day. Also keep in mind, we've got one more wager to quickly discuss. That's the Coast to Coast Pick 5. This is the final wager for the Coast to Coast Pick 5 this season. It's a low 15% takeout wager with a $1 minimum. It kicks off today at 1:00 p.m. Pacific time with Santa Anita race number 3. Toby, thanks so much for your time and insight today. I don't know where the 40 minutes flew by, but certainly was very informative, very educational. Keep up the great work, and we'll do it again sometime soon.
Will do.
Happy Easter, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you have a fun day here at the racetrack. Enjoy the infield and the Easter egg hunt. Hopefully we'll find some eggs as well from a handicapping standpoint.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our national anthem. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Anita Park. The track is fast, the turf is firm, the rail on the turf at 10 feet. Here are the changes. In the first, number 6, Raji, 2 pounds over. Started the early pick 5. The second race begins the early pick 4. No scratches or jockey changes. In the third, number 5, Natural Power, make the jockey Juan Hernandez. Race 3, number 5, Juan Hernandez. The third is the start of the Coast to Coast pick 5, combining 5 races from Santa Anita Park and Gulfstream Park. No changes in the fourth. The fifth race offers a middle pick 4 on races 5, 6, 7, and 8. We're still waiting on a jockey to be announced for number 1, Respect the Code, in race 5. The sixth race is the start of the Rainbow Pick 6 with the mandatory payout yesterday. A fresh pool starts today with the sixth race. In the seventh, the John Shear, number 1, Mas Rapido, make the jockey Umberto Rispoli. Late pick 5 on this 11-race card begins with the 7th. In the 8th race, no changes. The 9th, scratch number 3, Exactly Wendy, still waiting for a jockey to be announced for number 1, Gypsy Lynn. 10th race starts the Golden Hour pick 4. And in the 11th, start of the Golden Hour double, there are no changes. Enjoy this Easter Sunday at the Great Race Place. The Easter egg hunt in full gear and the Spring Carnival concluding today in our infield. Be sure to get out there if you have a chance. They'll be at the gate for the first in 26 minutes at 12 noon.
For First Bet, I'm Michelle Yu, and we're going to talk about the Coast to Coast for this Sunday. It's the final day that you can get this opportunity to wager on the $1 minimum, low 15% takeout wager that we have been offering. And here's a look at my ticket. $96 is the total price. Going to kick it off at the Great Race Place with a starter allowance going 5.5 furlongs. The 2, the 4, the 6 have all been knocking heads, and they've split decisions. The 2 is going to be my top selection in here. Got a bad trip last time, but great at this level, and the distance will have the pace to run at. Leg number 2, we're going to go to Gulfstream Park. Also a starter allowance here. I'm going to spread. This is my biggest leg, as you can see. My top selection being the 4, Tapsational. He's been knocking at the door at a mile and a 16th, so to cut back to the mile and 70 yards, I think is going to hit him square between the eyes, but not of a sure thing because we go 4 horses deep. Leg number 3, it's going to be a 5 furlong turf sprint over at Gulfstream Park. Baby Steps and Claudette Air were so close at the wire last time. Baby Steps got the edge. I think she can do it yet again, so I'm going to use her as well as Claudette Air since they were just a nose apart. Going back to the Great Race Place to finish out our sequence, going to go down the hillside turf course. I go 2 horses deep, 3 and the 4. The 4 is All for Mankind. First time U.S., first time gelding, first time Lasix. You're going to get Sadler, Pratt, and I think the works have been an A+ for the U.S. debut. And then to close out the show, it's going to be 3-year-olds down the hill in the John Shear. I'm going to go 2 horses deep in here. The 2 and the 3 with First Piece being my top selection off the turn back in distance. He is multiple stakes place. He's great at stakes place, going the mile. I think that mile horses cutting back really relish the hill. And I know we're going to have tons of speed with my boy Holatic in there, who probably wants a touch shorter of distance. That's a look at your final Coast to Coast pick 5 for the season.
And they're off. We have the 2 jockey changes for today. 5th race, number 1, Respect the Code, make the jockey Kyle Frey. Race 5, number 1, Kyle Frey. And in the 9th, number 1, Gypsy Lynn, the jockey Kazushi Kimura. Race 9, number 1, Kazushi Kimura.
Who's ready for a fun day Sunday? I know I am. The girls in pink are here to take you through the 11 race card. The main track is fast. The turf is rated as good. And look at this.
I can't tell from far away what it is.
There's eggs and
It's
and
chicks. I like the chicks.
You like that?
It's me and you. You
can-
should write on there.
You can wear them later, but we have a fantastic card of racing today. We are on the turf, which is a great thing. And let's talk about this first race. Michelle, we're on the turf going a mile and 1/8. It's a maiden special weight.
Indeed, it is 4 to 5 on your current favorite, and that is the one Escape Artist. Back-to-back second, so nothing to knock about him, and forwardly placed from the rail.
Let's get to Peter Lurie standing by with a special guest.
Number 4, Ridley's Major, ridden by Kaz Kimura. Kaz, by the way, this horse last time out you rode, kind of an even race going a mile. Do you think the extra 1/8 of a mile helps the horse?
Yeah, definitely that horse needed more distance, and today is kind of like a small field. Just a few horses gonna be show up speed, and if I were to stay with them, that would be perfect.
With that in mind, do you think you're going to have the same tactics that you had going a mile?
Well, yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Let's talk about yesterday. Phenomenal race to be second in the Derby with Mandarin Hero. Has the connections indicated? Obviously, you are on the outside looking in number 24. Are they going to approach it as if they're in the Derby and try to train into it?
Yeah, it's might be still not enough point, but just still have a month. Like we're gonna wait. That trainer told me just send it to the Kentucky, so and then we'll see from there.
Yourself on a personal note, how exciting was it to be in a race like that yesterday? I know you didn't win. It was so close, but just to be in that kind of a fight had to be exciting for you.
No, that was a really close race, and after the wire, actually Ramon told me congratulations. That's why I thought I got it, but well, it was quite fun racing.
Yes, well, we're gonna miss you when you go back to Woodbine, but thank you so much for being with us today.
No, thank you so much.
That's Kaz Kimura.
Thanks so much, Pete. Great to hear from KK there. Horses going out. The one Escape Artist. Is this the horse to beat, Michelle?
Certainly the horse to beat in here, Zoe, my top pick as well. If you want a long shot, the 3 Stonks hasn't showed anything at all in the afternoon, but he's getting some really good recent workout reports, and he could be an upsetter here at 12 to 1.
I thought the 5 Nuclear definitely on his toes, gets the blinkers on today, and I think he's a horse you have to pedal. JJ Hernandez is going to get this horse into the bridle because he's a horse that I know the saddle barn has been high on for a very long time.
Yeah, the blinkers on with that last work as well. You can see 59 and change, but hard urge for that, like you said, needs to be pedaled along.
Ridley's Major looked fantastic as well. He's currently overlaid at 5-1, Michelle.
I like that horse as well. The other McCarthy, right? I mean, stretching out in distance here, and he's been further and run very well. I think the 9 furlongs really going to suit the son of Gunrunner.
This is the start of the early pick 5. We are 10 minutes away from race number 1.
Jay Cohen calls him out for the first. Start of the early pick 5. Post time in 9 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a scratch that just came in. It's a steward scratch in race 5. Race 5, scratch number 6, What Makes Sammy Run? In the 5th race today, scratch number 6, What Makes Sammy Run? As a result of that scratch, there will be no super high 5 in the 5th.